July 22nd school board meeting order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. All right, I will start off with the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
I just have one update before you do it. The child care update item on the consent agenda
Their contracts for next year.
for next year. So item L was just changed to have accurate numbers in there. So it's been updated on the website. I just wanted, what you would have saw initially is not the right data number. Yes, so, thank you.
Make a motion to approve with the addition or correction
Second.
to L.
Okay, motion seconded. Okay, all those in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we have an approved agenda. On to comments and suggestions from citizens. Is there anybody in the group here tonight that would like to speak?
What about you?
How about you, little guy?
Say hi.
Who's Ryan?
Hi, Ryan.
He wants the phone to play.
Speech, that's about right.
All right, well, for those watching online, you can always submit something on the YouTube form, and it'll go to Mr. Study and the board, so please feel free to do that. All right, consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve this consent agenda.
Second.
Motion seconded. Any discussion other than what we discussed for the agenda about the amended numbers in the one packet? Okay, hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, consent agenda is approved. On to bills. Jill?
This evening I have $6,857,464 worth of bills presented for approval for payment. It's a pretty large bill list, but it's July, so we're paying a lot of our renewals for next year. The items I have to highlight include a payment to BSN Sports for $10,086 for new athletic uniforms and supplies for a couple different sports. Payment to the Iowa Association of School Boards for $10,903 for membership dues for next year. Payment to Frontline Technology for $44,136. That actually is a payment for 3 different software programs that we use. Time and attendance, ASOP for leaves, and Frontline Central is our paperless database. And then a payment to the AEA for $109,191 for hearing interpreter services for the second semester of the school year. Thank you.
Do we know if any of that AEA, the sign language, did that change at all, with any changes?
No, that won't. It's under special ed, so that will be, those are specific kids with IEPs. One of them graduated, so obviously we could always get another one, but it drops off. And if they're an open enrolled student member, it's the neighboring district that reimburses us where they come from for that expense.
So maybe about 40% of that won't even really be ours, we'll get reimbursed.
I move that we pay the bills.
I second.
Okay, so motion seconded. Any further discussion on the bills? All right, all those in favor of approving the bills, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, bills are approved. Moving on to recognitions. Joe?
Yeah, Jill, I think this is the second award. There's always two.
Yeah,
So this is the Government Finance Officers Association is awarding the North Scott School District a certification of excellence for financial reporting in its annual comprehensive financial report. So congratulations to Jill and her office.
Thanks, Jill.
Good job.
All right, so we have no reports tonight, no committee reports, no old business. So now moving on to new business. We have some student-built home student contracts to approve. So just talk about all of them, and then we'll ask some questions, and we'll just approve them consecutively.
Sure, no problem. Okay, first one I have is Quinn Electric, $8,640. Total cost with a $4,000 discount. Next I have Elite Lighting Electrical Fixtures, $2,779.29. And then we have ABC Supply for siding, $7,249.39. And then I have one more. ABC supply for the roofing materials, total price would be $3,000. The quote was $7,335.15. It was a $3,667.58 discount at law. Total price would be $3,667.58. And that is our three things we need approval.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Lindbergh on these?
Just question, do you
Sure.
have a spreadsheet of all the other bids that you had from that standpoint? Who else bid for the electric and all that?
Yeah, it's the one I shared.
Yeah.
Shared
So it's still live, then, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we did receive bids on that stuff.
Okay.
How much left do you have to finish pricing out the house?
As far as
Like
still bids
materials, yeah.
left to do, we got quite a bit already bid out. We've
That's why I thought.
very far ahead.
You've been through a lot lately.
We've been through a lot. So to answer your question, I'll open the spreadsheet for you. Items that we still need to get quotes for would be roofing labor, so we haven't finalized that yet. Gutters, insulation materials. Nope, we already got that. Sheet rock.
So I imagine a lot of the interior stuff.
So all we got left is floor coverings, grade and sod, appliances, and that's pretty much it. So James did a really great job of getting a lot of the quotes for me, so we're ahead of schedule. We will, August 2nd, we'll be digging for the foundation
Oh, cool.
pillar. So we'll be breaking ground, and then we'll be
Good.
pouring foundation, then, pouring for the basement and moving right along, so.
Good deal.
When you say that you're having tough needing these bids still, is it some of the vendors are not turning in their bids? or-
No, we're just
waiting?
way far ahead of schedule, like, we don't need a bid for
Okay,
sod.
okay, we haven't, okay.
So the vendors have done a good job of getting us a
Okay.
quote really early. They could have waited a long time and said, we're not comfortable quite yet for pricing, but we don't have a need to bid on paint or
And
roofing
yet,
labor is
right.
not quite there yet, so.
Yeah, I know in 1 year, we were having a tough time getting some bids from people, turning them in, and that hasn't happened for a while, so that's good, but
I would
I
say.
think you're very kudos that you're gonna go after them.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep telling, I can tell.
I,
Keep sending that bid in.
yeah, they've done, all the vendors have done a good job. We've got a good relationship with our vendors
Yeah.
through the years, which makes it a little bit easier, so.
That's great.
Thank
I
you.
know,
Any additional questions?
do you know if James sent thank yous to all the vendors that did give us discounts last year?
I can't tell you that for sure.
Okay.
I did. I sent them out.
But you sent them out, thank you.
Thank you, Trina.
Yeah, it is so important, so thanks for doing that.
Yep.
That was good.
All
I'm
right.
glad you're in the role.
Mark, do you
Thank you.
want one motion, or you want one for each one?
We'll need one for each one.
I make a motion to accept the Quinn Electric bid for the student build home for 24-25.
Second.
Motion second, any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the Quinn Electric bid for student build home, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we're approved. Moving on to Elite Lighting, I'll entertain a motion on that.
Make a motion that we accept the bid for elite lighting for the student build home for 24-25.
Second.
Okay, it's motion second, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the Elite Lighting contract for student build home, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we're approved. Entertain a motion for item C.
Make a motion to accept the ABC supply for siding for the student build home for 24-25.
Second.
Okay, it's motion second, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the ABC supply for siding contract, please say aye. Those opposed? All right, that ABC supply is approved. Now moving on to, I'll entertain a motion for the roofing portion for ABC supply.
Make a motion to accept the ABC supply for roofing for the student build home for 24-25.
Second.
Okay, so motion second, any further discussion?
I think your spreadsheet answered my question, when you mentioned the 50% off, you got that as an email from Mike,
That's correct,
right?
yep.
Okay.
So
there-
ABC Supply couldn't provide me that,
updated.
Well, we had to get confirmation from the roofing company to do that, so I do have that documented through email, that
Okay.
Okay.
chain of communication, and confirm that with the bid, with the
Okay.
salesman.
Do we need to put that mail as part of the notes or anything for the?
Well, when we get the contract, we'll get the new contract.
Oh, the new
So
contract.
that-
Okay,
that'll
okay.
represent it.
Okay. Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
All right, all those in favor of approving the ABC supply for roofing, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Great, we are approved. Thank you.
Thank you all.
So you weren't here that
Good
long,
job.
you have to take that.
5 minutes, buddy.
So-
That's right.
One question, what grade are you in, bud?
What grade are you in?
It's a no grade, it's a summer, right?
Mr. Green's not gonna have you get answer that.
What grade are you going into?
What grade are you going to? Who's your teacher last? Third grade.
Third.
That's
First
first.
grade.
He's going into first grade. Yeah, this is Lewis.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Lewis.
Wow, lucky you.
You're representing the students tonight, buddy.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Bye, David, thank
Yep.
you.
All right, moving on to convection of bid results.
Yeah.
Raise your hand, that's.
Yeah, I'll do it, yeah. Included in your packet was from Amy Guerrero, the food service director. She is recommending from Tri-City Equipment Company for 2 convention ovens for $51,250.88. And just a reminder, this comes out of food service budget, not the general budget or any of our other funds.
Motion to approve? Second.
There's been motion seconded, any discussion on this topic?
So, did we not have conventions ovens, or they just need?
They just need to replace,
Okay.
yep.
I think they were really old.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor of approving the convection of bid results, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are approved. Now, do you want to just hit one, talk about the?
Just one at a
Okay.
time, yeah, they're all different, so.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, so the first one, Lancer Stadium, it's Allied Construction. We asked them to change a wall from going all the way to the ceiling. Actually, Booster Club wanted it to do a crossing, so that's at $595 change. So recommending approval.
That's for the concession stand.
Concession stand area, correct.
Motion to approve? Second.
Motion second, any further discussion on this one? All right, all those in favor of approving the change order to Allied, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion passes. On to design build.
The design build, the next one is for Sheets Design Build, and that's a change we requested for the lockers to add more space for $3,154.
Motion to approve? Second.
So motion second, any discussion on this one?
I read it, it's for their shoe lockers.
Yeah.
All right,
That's small.
all those in favor of approving the shoe locker change order, for Laser City, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion passes. On to the wrestling facility.
So this one had several requests from us. One was to put in conduit raceway because we want cameras added to the outside and in the building, and that was not part of the project. We also want our automated flushers, so that added the circuits. And then we have a new unit outside that required 3-phase, and so all by our request.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so motion seconded, all those, any further discussion on this change order? Yes, Joe, when, you'll have your own.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor of approving the wrestling facility change order to Valley, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, change order is approved. Now on to the Regional Innovation Center.
So this one, the first one is with Builder Cell and Services. Part of it was support for material needed for support structure, and then there was also less drywall needed, so you didn't need to go all the way to the ceiling. So the combination ended up an increase of $9,695.
Okay,
Motion approved.
Second.
this motion second, any discussion on this change order?
So we're removing drywall, but it's costing more?
Well, they're two different places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was two different places. It's just, they happen to be doing both, so they
Okay.
combined it in one
Okay.
change order, yeah.
All right, all those in favor of approving the change order to BSSC, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, change order is approved. Now on to the one for Needham Excavating.
Yeah, this was due to the winter conditions, basically the amount of moisture we had and have to dig out, especially the second half of the building and put in rock in order to get the foundation for the cement. It was a big part of it, and then winter cleanup conditions. For a total of, $75,686.47. We had money, or we knew that this was going to be part of the contingency. So we know that the condition was something you didn't know
So they
about.
haven't poured the concrete?
They hadn't worked, we had to first put in, basically, majority of that south half of the building had to be rocked. And we had to take out the wet dirt and put in rock.
We knew that, but did we know it was gonna be this much?
No, it's more than we would have anticipated, but, yeah. No. But we knew that's always an issue. We're gonna have the same thing at Neil Armstrong. You know, we got the walls up of the gym, which is great. But guess what it's done since? Rain. It doesn't dry out now. So that's gonna cause, Team Services always comes in, they do compaction tests, and they know, okay, what holds cement, and if that won't hold it anymore because there's too much moisture, you gotta take it out and then put it in fill. Yeah, so that's what this was.
All right. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Is the motion seconded? Any further discussion on this change order? All right, all those in favor of approving the change order to Needham Excavating, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Change order is approved. Now on to potential change order, it says.
Okay, yeah, so this one was a discussion item for us. As we look at the Regional Innovation Center, I'm gonna have Jill go through kind of where we're at with the money for all of Vision 2025, with the money, with everything that's been increased. Now would be the time, though, if we decided we want to build the walls of that extra room, we could build it. This came up in my mind partly because when the robotics team was asking for them and that Lego League, I'm like, wait, what would we have space? And what we technically do have space that we could do. And then, of course, we got the $2 million coming from the federal government. I don't know what year we'll get that money. We reached out a week ago. I reached out actually to the environmental study person who's still working on 22, 23 environmental studies. And they're supposed to be done before they do anything else. I don't know what the process is gonna be like. Our communication, Jill and I are both contact points is not really good coming from HUD. The money's there, don't get me wrong. I just couldn't tell you when they're gonna get around to let us fill out everything that we need to fill out to get the money. But anyway, but that $2 million made me start thinking, okay, well, where are we at with the potential of doing that? And so I know Frank talked to me, he goes, well, where are we at with everything? We had that conversation even tonight, where are we at with everything? So I'm gonna have Jill go through it real quick, just to kind of give you an update financially. And you can pull it up if you have your computer. They have access to this.
Yeah, it's the capital projects
Two,
file.
so we do a
the one
search
we've
under-
been using most recently. I don't see anybody in it right now, other than myself.
In the Google Drive?
It's in
Yeah.
Google, yeah, so it's a shared, if you go under shared documents and just type in capital projects 2.
Oh, people are popping. So I'll just do big picture conversation. We've got more specific questions, you can let me know. The first tab was just the
Sorry,
sources.
can you hang tight just 1 second?
Yeah.
I'm not there quite yet.
Oh, yeah.
Look at us using technology, by the way.
Yeah. I know, but Joe just asked me if I printed it, and I was like, oh no, I didn't even think about it. Do you want me to email it to you, Mom?
I have to go through the two-factor authentication.
Okay.
Yeah, let me go ahead and key. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I just updated the sources page. Really, the only uses tab, I did add a column for solar projects and that dollar amount in there. I did put the total bid, but then I added a row, that's in column R on the second tab. I did add a row for the payback, the rebate that we would potentially get. I mean, there might be a timing difference for when that money will come into. We still,
1.6 that's there.
yeah, but we still do have some cash flow in there though too, so. And then, I just saw. If you scroll down to on row R, I have column R, row 26, what the balance of funds would be as of today, which is about $1.3 million that we haven't spent. The only other thing that we committed to spending money on would be the purchase of land, but by law, we really only have to code $1 to it. I mean, you know what I mean? Whatever we decide to do, if we spend $1, that's meeting what we told the taxpayers, that, you know, if we use a different source for that.
So we can split that purchase basically.
Yeah. I did also update the change order tab just because we've been having a lot of change orders come through. In total, we have $1.5 million of change orders to date. Really, that's just for reference for me to make sure we don't exceed our contingency that we've already accounted for, and our contingency is at $2 million. So we still have some wiggle room there, but we want to watch that also.
So does that mean if we take that sort of 1.5 and we have 2 million in contingency, that we have an extra 500 on top
If
of
we
that
don't
one, if we don't spend it on top of that 1.6
Yeah,
or whatever?
correct.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Where do you have the original contingency? I'm sorry.
It is on the uses tab
Okay,
on row 10.
got it, okay.
Other than that, I don't think I've made any changes since the last time we talked. I think my goal, you know, is just kind of to update it and see where our balance of funds was at. And
That's
we
good,
wanted to do
very
that.
good job.
So basically, we have conservatively 1.6 million that we have floating.
Yeah.
And of that, Joe, you're kind of asking, do you want
1.3.
to spend 1.3? Do you want to spend 150,000?
To 200,000 or something
Oh, yeah.
in there potentially to build that room. Now, the flow of the money is still an issue in the sense of, we don't know when we're gonna get the 2 million, right? You pull that 2 million out, that number changes dramatically for it. There's also positive things. We don't know total what the interest is gonna be, that would add potentially. So this is still, you know, an I was almost gonna say guess. It's not a guess. I just want you to know.
I made this all up.
It isn't like this is written in stone. There's so many factors that
Right.
still play, and so that's why you need to think about it. I'd feel much better if I understood the HUD process and knowing that in fiscal year 24, we're actually gonna get the money in fiscal year 24. That means we get it by October. We just have had no good communication from them for this process.
Is the money that we would also, we're doing this extra room, the solar and the land
No,
purchase?
solar is.
I took out-
Solar's-
Solar's in there, the
Okay,
land
solar.
purchase is not in there yet.
Okay.
And so, what I would tell you is how much contingency is left in
500,000.
in regional center.
About 75,000.
Yeah, not much in there.
Well, but does that include the 300 we put back? I don't think so. It's like it's almost like 400,000 in there. The 350,000 from the reimbursement from the fundraising.
I wouldn't call that contingency.
But it would be because we spent contingency,
Yeah,
that
it's a change
fundraising.
order, right, so it really shouldn't go against the contingency, it goes to a different
Correct,
source, right?
so there should be that, but we took it out of contingency initially,
Okay,
so
okay.
that's why that
Okay.
shows that above.
Okay, okay, yep.
And so, those are the kind of things, I mean, obviously, we got a lot of moving parts to this. The only real budget that where contingency to me is an issue, and it was the wrestling facility, and that was because of the way we did that project, but also the whole sewer system had to be redone for it. And that's a small project compared to the other ones.
I'd add too that we've not budgeted for a good year and a half to spend any of the sales tax money that comes
It is, you know, do we need the room right now? Absolutely not. Will it be more expensive someday to build it? Probably. You know, obviously there is the expense of adding the percentages on the CM and architect right now too that you might not have in the future.
Which is the same thing about land.
It's, what's that? And the land purchase only
Same
gets more
thing.
expensive
Right.
too, yeah. And after now, we have solar, right? And now my next step is to go back and start working on the land purchase, you know, because obviously that's the last part of
Right.
Vision 2025
Mm-hmm.
for it. And so, anyway,
So you don't need any action from us tonight?
well, if we do, no, if we want to move forward, so if you guys say, listen, it's 200,000 max, obviously the money's there, I would recommend moving forward just so we have the room. What I'm not telling you is I'm building a permanent home for those programs. Because someday that could be an HVAC program, it could be
Right,
some
it's
other.
gonna be something.
But because that, you know, it's a big room, but,
I see.
Stephanie and I walked through there, and when you start walking through there, you look, and like, ooh, this is a big room. Because it's designed to be a big career program.
Yeah.
But if the space is there, there's no reason not to utilize the space either.
Right.
And so,
But I think if, you know, if the elementaries could also use it, it could be the high school robotics and elementary robotics, and which also might, you know, if, right now we have teams and it's at each individual elementary schools, right?
Mhm.
I
Would
can
it
coach
attract,
my team at the library.
would it attract more volunteers
It
if you
could.
had a space, but also, could you have, you know, 3 volunteers that manage 2 different teams? You have a primary, secondary, and somebody that goes in between the teams, right? So we have a hard time getting volunteers and things like that, so could 3 people manage 2 teams now instead of, you know, needing 2 volunteers for 1 team?
Right.
Secretary school can have their team.
Yeah, you know, and I would imagine the kids would feed off of each other at the elementary level, and the collaboration and the mentoring that the high school kids could give to the elementary potentially, because they're all in the same space, right? So I think a lot of good things could come out.
Absolutely, I agree. I think the other thing is we have a lot of makerspace type of equipment, 3D printers and
Yeah.
stuff that are sitting in areas not being used. And I could see, because it's such a big space, that equipment I could see it being incorporated
Kind of
as
steam
really, what'd you say?
Steam room.
Yeah, steam room, yeah. I think it has a lot of potential. So could it become a permanent home over time? Yes. The space is there, now would be the time for us to say, put the walls up, make sure it has enough electricity for all those kind of uses, that's what we told them. So what we want is to make sure it has electricity, because they run a lot of electrical things in these kind of programs. And so basically it's a basic classroom, or a square room, rectangle, with a lot of electricity in it, for now. That's
I
what
mean, the
we're
elementaries
doing.
could do field trips to the makerspace room, or the
Yeah,
kids
yeah,
getting
yeah,
interested in
yeah.
things,
Right.
Yeah,
and to play with the things.
Thank you for
yeah.
Going through
I
all
think it
that.
makes
So-
sense.
Yeah, I just,
It's kind of like the second locker room where
So
you
are
have the opportunity
we,
to now watch
do you want a
it.
motion?
my recommendation would be a motion to approve this was an alternate, to approve what I would call the alternate to put up the walls for the extra space in the regional innovation center. It's not adding space, it's just putting up the walls, is what we're
Right,
doing.
that's what.
Yeah, so it isn't, I don't want anybody to think, oh, you're adding more space to a facility you haven't used. No, we're not adding more space, we're just putting up the walls and space that exists.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, I'm supportive of it.
Make a motion that we go ahead and put the walls up.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion, second, any further discussion on this? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of approving this change order for the walls in the regional center, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank
Thanks
you,
for the
I think
update.
it's
Yeah, sure.
money well spent.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for the
Yeah,
quick
thank you.
analysis on this. All right, moving on to, we have some Allen Shepherd change orders.
It was a moisture barrier we had to put under part of the flooring in Allen Shepherd in order to be able to do the triathlon time,
Okay.
for $2,665.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, so motion second, any further discussion on this one? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the terrazzo change order, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion passes. On to River Valley Construction at Allen Shepherd.
Yeah, this one was for $1,964, is adding a chase behind the cabinets for the plumbing to fit.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, so motion seconded, any further discussion on this one? All right, all those in favor of approving the $2,000 change order to River Valley Construction, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Swanson Construction now?
So this was for $1,200 for Swanson to store equipment because Audubon was behind in their work, so it will actually be billed back to Audubon. So we're approving it, but we won't be paying the bill.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so motion second, any further discussion on this one? All right, all those in favor of approving the change order to Swanson Construction, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion passes. On to, we have a couple high school medals lab.
Yeah, so the first one was after we looked at the design, or if we added some more cement, it would help with landscaping and not having to try to mow something really small. So we asked them to pour more cement, and so for $2,750, Katie Flatwork.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, so motion second, any discussion on this one? All right, all those in favor of approving the KE Flatwork change order for the metals lab, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion passes. On to Rock River Electric.
Yeah, this was removing wires that would have been in the way of the new brick that was going up there for $1,065.75.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so motion and seconded. Any further discussion on this one?
It says on here, remove these and the wiring and pull wire out to the concession stand.
Pull it out from the old concession stand at the old softball field.
Right.
Oh,
They're
that's
probably,
the one.
they're probably pulling the wires.
Yeah.
They pulled it.
Yeah,
We got rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was, from the old concession stand we're no longer using.
All right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving the Rock River Electric change order, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. On to camera bids and parts.
So Josh is here, I don't know if he wants to add anything, but we bidded out more cameras and replacing cameras, and so RTI got the bid for $133,452.48. Josh, some of this is E-ratable?
No, none of this
None of
is
this is.
E-ratable, but it's out of project money, the school, or school safety improvement grant, as well as some of the district safety funds. So it's replacing failed cameras in some of our locations. It's adding new requests from principals, and it's cameras for all of our new construction projects. Some of them, it's split up into two bids. One that is for our existing buildings, having them installed so that we're not doing that internally, and then the replacements we'll be doing internally, where the high school had less money after the radios in the safety grant. So we're doing some of that in-house, so.
Good. Was there a warranty on any of this?
Most of those cameras come with a 5-year warranty.
5-year?
Access actually has a 5-year warranty on all of the cameras, and then the installed ones would probably have a generic 1-year warranty.
Okay.
So we haven't had many of those cameras fail. The high school ones that are failed are somewhere in the range of 8 to 9 years old. So
Yeah, I figured.
The main reason these also can be paid for out of our bond money for the new buildings.
there's some of them coming out of the
Some of
bond
them,
money.
Yeah, it's multiple sources
Okay.
where the money's coming from, yep.
Is one of the cameras for the parking that we had a parent complain
Right.
about?
That one was already, that was
Oh,
last year's.
gotcha.
Yeah, that
you
was
did it
already
right
gone
away.
down there.
And some of them we're combining cameras, that there's 2 right next to each other into a camera that has 4 different positions to cover the areas that we're missing. So
Thank you.
we're really kind of improving our coverage outside of our building, as well as some of the dead spots that we've identified by principals and admins in our buildings.
And really, the students identify the dead spots for you.
Yes, they do.
Continuous recording or just motion?
Due to storage, it's still going to be motion-based with a couple seconds before and after. Troubled areas, we do have them more consistently recording,
Okay,
or have them the sensitivity increased.
okay. Are we looking at extending storage or looking into extended storage?
That might be something as a part of this, if there's still grant money. The issue right now is the grant money, the high school doesn't have much left, and then the other buildings, if we can combine them together. There are many rules that I know Jill and I have worked through to and Aaron as well, like figure out what we're allowed to do. So
Okay.
once we do this purchase and get that through, we'll find out if we're able to combine those, then yes, we would be increasing some of that.
How much do we store now? Is it 15 or 30 days?
It depends on the server, but it's somewhere between 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
If something happens, we then pull it and store it permanently.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I'm assuming if you were doing like an offloading of that and keeping camera footage for a period of time, that's probably can fall under a service too, right? If you're doing cloud storage service rather than it's not a, that's. we have
Be like a
different funds for
subscription,
that,
so it
right?
can fall under Pebble.
Yeah.
So that might be an option.
The question kind of comes back to is what limit, or,
Yeah.
what is the intent of the cameras for? Additionally, our changes, the incident I think you're referring to, would be solved by the fact of we're just covering that area instead of looking at it from 300 feet away.
Yeah.
So the issue I think that's being referred to is one that we're looking at from too far away, that, the breaking the camera footage helps us find situations easier, so the motion-based helps you jump through time. If you're watching through constant footage, then we need to talk about additional funds for something to analyze that footage and identify things.
Mhm.
So at the moment, that's kind of where we're at.
Got it. Thanks.
We did get good footage of the steel wall falling down in the storm.
Oh, did you?
We got it on camera.
What's still
Over at Neil Armstrong,
Oh,
I said,
that's
it's
right.
just a small section, but you get to watch the storm come in and watch it.
I
So
thought
in
you
some
might.
places where we had dead spots before, motion wouldn't have picked it up if it was so far away, but the new cameras you're putting in.
Since we're moving closer, we would catch those areas. That was a dead spot in that design from 8 years ago.
Okay.
So that wasn't predicted as an area that needed to be watched. So
Right. Thanks for doing all
Thank you,
that.
Josh.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion saying any further discussion or questions on this? All right, all those in favor of approving the camera bids, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion passes. On to superintendent's report.
All right, so in service, so on Tuesday the 13th, should be on your calendar if you can make it, 8 o'clock is the new teacher breakfast. It'll be here at the high school again. So we bring in the new teachers on the 13th and 14th and 15th. So on the 13th and 14th, they work in the mornings and afternoon they're in their rooms, and then on the 15th they're in their rooms all day. And so that's our first week with new teachers. There's also some extra things for special ed teachers happening that time. And then on the 20th is when all staff comes back for the first in-service day. In the morning is building time. So they start out in their buildings, and then after lunch, we bring them in at 1 o'clock. Mark's gonna welcome them, and then we jump right into a speaker on ACEs. It's a mandatory training for all staff, and then our nurses will do the mandatory bloodborne pathogens training. We'll have staff go online and do their suicide prevention training that's required every year. And then after that's complete, that's when I will welcome staff and talk to staff, and we'll also recognize the new teachers, the 5-year, 10-year, 15, all the way up will happen at that time to wrap up the day. And then the second day, we have building PC time, our professional development time, and then district professional development is all laid out on Wednesday, the 21st, and then Thursday, the 22nd, is teachers are in the room. That'll be backpack night, and then Friday we start school, which I know it's weird, starting on a Friday, but it is what it is.
Thank you, Governor.
That's based on survey though too, right?
It was, that was the choice, versus waiting till the next and going another day. It just really gets that, it kind of would be a repeat of this year ending on like a Friday, and you like to have a couple day buffer on that one. But we'll start on Friday. That will be the only full Friday all year. And so there's our beginning of the year. It's already around the corner, and
Right.
if you've been to any store, you can tell that they're excited about school starting. There's lots of school sales going on. Vision 2025 is an update. The stadium, if you've been by there, the entire stadium is complete now, so they're done building the stadium, other than the press box. There's a lot of connections and wiring and stuff. We're working with them on that. The turf is done. The track is within a week or so, it will be totally done, it looks like. They have the first layer already, I assume today they might have completed the first layer. They were 3/4 of the way done with the track, and so if you haven't been by there, it really pops with the black. And then they'll get the lane changes will be red, and that'll look nice. If you notice today, they, in about 3 minutes, they picked up that garage and moved it to the new cement, and then that'll get re-sided. It actually fits really well, so better than I thought it would in that spot over there. And then they're just continuing working on the inside of the buildings. I know the restrooms have partitions up and things like that. We are really anticipating that at no later the second week of August being totally completed. And so,
We re-siding the visitors, gate too.
we haven't done anything on the visitor side. The one thing is I walk back and forth, I talk to Scott, those doors that are rusted that I can see gotta get replaced. I mean, there's a lot of work on that side we'll have to start paying attention to, but nothing for this coming season. But when you do
Just the
something,
paint job, isn't it wood?
which one, on
The
the
visitors, ticket.
ticket, yeah, there's, whether we cite it or what, but yes, there's, when you do something new on one part of something, it's got to be softball, say, well, then you kind of look at baseball, going, next summer we gotta talk about how we do things for baseball, it's kind of that same way, now walk out, you go, you keep, we're gonna have to start addressing that, so paint and things like that.
So you'll let us know what ribbon cutting is for the football game?
Correct, we're anticipating the first football game, for the ribbon cutting, will be the first football game for that.
First varsity.
Welding, and I don't know if we would wanna schedule welding the same night, and kind of, so that way people can see both. I don't know how we're gonna do if we wanna do something with welding, we gotta think about welding. Welding will be done before the start of school year too. I walked through there today, they're pouring in the rest of the cement around the facility. Doors are in, there's a lot of mechanical stuff being done. The ceiling grids are being put in the classroom portion, the windows are in now, and so that all looks really well. The Regional Innovation Center, they finally got all the concrete poured on the inside, which is really nice, and they're finishing going on the outside. We do have one issue, potentially the second half of the pour on the front of the building, so from going from the outside in, might have to get all tore out and redone. We're not happy with the quality of that cement. The company's trying to do some surfacing stuff to it. Basically, half of the parking lot in the front, so the parking lot closest to the building, will all have to be tore out and re-poured.
And that will be on there.
It'll be there, yeah, it's just not on the regional center. Yeah, it's a lot of cement, but it's not of the quality it should be, and so we're working through that
Is
process.
it a new, have we worked with them before? Is it-
Well, they did the other half report, that was fine, I don't know what happened that day, it's just, yeah, and then they're pouring on the outside, it's just, I don't know whether it was a bad mix that day, or, and they tried something this week, they wanna show us, we told them, you can try it, but the bottom line is, I mean, with those kind of pits in it, salt's gonna get in there, and we're gonna have a disaster on our hands, you know, not that-
Sustainability.
you know, they want, anyway, it's not cost to us, but it is what it is. And then the inside, walking through a lot of the walls and drywall now going up, and just a lot of workers in there. And so we look to be on pace for November. Be done with that one, and that's when the grand opening would be then. Wrestling facility, the wrestling rooms, really, they're putting the floors in now, they'll put the subfloors in. And then those rooms are just about done to be completed, still working in the locker rooms and finishing up those things, but a lot of paint on the walls, really starting to brighten up and things like that. Does look like it'll be into August before they get that, so. The junior high remodel,
August.
what's that?
End of August?
No, the beginning of
Okay,
August,
sorry.
yeah, sometime in the beginning of
Sorry,
August.
couldn't hear you.
The junior high remodel, things are going really well in there. You know, obviously junior high and Neil Armstrong, I'm getting nervous because I see a lot of rooms, and we're within now a month of school starting, that we need those spaces, and they're like, no, we're fine with that. The new addition's going really well. The cement, they're working well in there. We don't anticipate that being until after the first of the year. It's just we really need the old band room done. And then we're doing work have contracted work in the fax facing rooms, and also the old orchestra room that we still need to be using. Those are the ones that make me nervous. You know, we're replacing still waxing floors and cleaning other rooms, and all of our buildings are in great shape to get started, the start of the year, other than the areas we gotta work around. Armstrong, again, things are going well. We obviously had that framed wall fall, which is, it's, again, not our dollar, but they started putting it back up today and replacing the steel that could be replaced, so it's not that big a deal. Probably the biggest issue there, and I mentioned it earlier, is it's really wet inside that gym and the sun cannot get in there, and so we're not sure what that's gonna do for drying it out and what that cost could potentially be. And then Scott's starting to work with the solar. I think one of the things we gotta really look at is where we put those solar panels. So if you go by Armstrong, there's some way out in the field, there's some flags up, and I'm like, Scott, that could be a future kickball area for kids. Can we put it over retention pond?
Yeah.
Big retention pond there. So we're gonna look at where are the areas that won't impact future use,
Yeah.
or what are areas that we can't use anyway. And so we'll look at that on all of the projects as we work with the company on each project to try to maximize, location is important, to be as close to where the meter is to save money potentially too, but to wasteland that you're gonna regret someday, we wanna be really thankful about that. I'd love to be able to put them over retention ponds. It's
Right.
just dead land anyway, we don't get to use it, it won't interfere with retention, so I'm hoping we can do some stuff like that in different locations.
It'd be interesting to see what the cost is to do over parking.
And we're looking into that too, especially here in this one.
Science lot, even Armstrong, there's already a board of the, like, they were.
Yeah, as long as we can plow, and the way I've seen them built
Yeah.
now in the Midwest, there wouldn't be as much snow underneath them anyway. But yeah, if we can do it, they face the right direction. We'll look at what are areas that make sense, not, let's just put them in because we want to put them
Right.
in, because we'll regret it someday, so.
Right.
Yeah. So all the projects are going well.
Good.
Very pleased. Again, anytime anybody wants a tour, just give me a call. I'm going through the projects now, probably two times a week, maybe 3 times a week. Especially you can see the amount of change orders and stuff, so it's easier to stay on top of things. And Scott does. Scott and I goes 4 times a week through each of the projects, so we stay on top of it. So
Good.
Armstrong opening, you said January?
we anticipate after the first year. I would probably closer to February for second semester, end of January.
But their offices are gonna be in,
They're using the new kindergarten room will be where their offices are. We're setting up cubicles, the old cubicles out
Is
of
it on the
our
left-hand
office
side?
temporarily. What's
is it
that?
on the left-hand side when you walk in the door?
Same office space, it'll just be a classroom.
Oh,
It'll be a
okay,
makeshift classroom, yeah. The other side will still be 4K
Okay.
on the other side, yeah.
They're just redoing it, or they blasted out the walls,
They're
or
just
just
speeding,
redoing
yeah,
it,
just
there's just
speeding
open
it,
space,
yeah.
they use the cubicles.
Kind of like the high school, I mean, some of the spaces we used during this high school remodel, I remember where Jake Simmons' office was for a while. I don't know how you guys all fit in there. You do what you can do. It's only for 1 semester, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the report.
Yeah, they will, and of course junior high, they'll pretty much be like they were anyway, so orchestra will still be in its room. I'm not sure where they're gonna put Project Lead the Way though. So I don't know how they work that out, because we did lose that room. So they still need that. So Project Lead the Way, I don't know where orchestra's going, to be honest with you.
Maybe in
Yeah,
the
think about that.
for-
I gotta ask that question. But we'll work around it. It'll work out. It's like road construction. We hate it when it happens, but we like it when it's done.
I know.
But things are going really well. A lot of contractors working, which is really nice. The issues we had last summer just aren't the issues that we have.
So you feel like when you were gone, that they kept working?
They did, they kept
take a
working,
vacation?
yeah, they
Okay,
did take a
good.
vacation. A lot of work got done, so,
Good.
yes.
That's probably
Yeah.
fun for you to be gone for that long.
Yeah, it was neat to come
Yeah,
back,
it's-
see, San Francisco, come back, see the progress.
It's awesome.
I will tell you, it'd be nice to check them off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure will.
And we were talking earlier, Bill Bruce, started school, we're done with all his projects other than punch lists. And
Oh,
so-
yeah.
So we'll be down to just Russell as a CM and just those projects, just really 3 projects when school starts. So. it'll be
Good, thanks, Joe.
Good, thanks.
Any other questions for Joe?
Yeah, getting back to your report, key positions that we still need filled, computer science at high
So,
school.
high school computer science, I'm not sure where they're at with that one. They've had a few apps, only one really legitimate app they're working on. I think we'll find something there, and because we can give people license through Eastern Iowa for that area, CTE. Spanish is gonna be a little bit more difficult. We are struggling well, we just can't really find a Spanish teacher. We have one of our Spanish teachers who's willing to go from half-time back to full-time, but that puts us 2 to 3 sections short. And so they are, one of the options is talking to a retired teacher. Right now, what that person's asking for salary is not realistic, in my opinion. We do have the other option that we talked about is starting Chinese, which would take away, it would put 2 to 3 sections of Chinese, and I know they're talking to her to see if she's willing to do it. We had that number of kids who said they would take it. We had a number of those kids who said they'd take both, and so they'd have to verify that, but we're looking at all options other than not telling kids, well, we just don't have room in Spanish, so you can't take
So
it.
can we hire
That's not an
a
option.
Spanish-speaking person without educational
Yeah.
background right now?
The person, I think, has to have a BA degree.
A BA
I
degree,
can't
but
remember,
not
but yes, a
necessarily
native
edu-
speaker can be licensed now to teach Spanish, and so, but I think they have to have a BA degree.
BA.
Yeah, we're looking at, they're really struggling, and with those 2 late resignations, are just struggling to find that one. Spanish is the one that makes, well, both of them
I can't
make me
believe-
nervous.
Hold on.
So-
Yeah,
So good question, I know I put that in my update.
that's all I know.
So they're looking for all options. I know,
So
originally it's like,
sad.
we don't wanna add a second language. Now in this case, it might help us out to add it and, release the number of kids in Spanish and pick it up, especially knowing that the individual is probably a long-term person for us. The hard part is, well, just like Spanish, when you lose somebody, there's no guarantee you can find them.
So we have somebody on staff who can teach Spanish?
Not that I'm aware of, other than the person going from full-time to, or half-time to full-time.
I think we might want to take a look at that, because I think we do.
And so does that mean if they went from half to full-time, then we're how many sections short?
With
So if
3
you're looking for
sections
somebody-
short.
So a half-time person.
Is it a half day, or is it,
Yeah, it'd be about half
I mean, like-
a day, yeah.
so because if there's somebody out that, maybe wants to work part-time
Yep.
or something.
Yeah, that's what we need is
We're
a
really
half-
talking
half-time.
about
Yeah.
About a half-time position is what it would be.
what
Would
is
be every
that?
other day? Is that
What
what
is
it
the
is?
schedule?
That I couldn't tell
Not
you.
sure.
I think every other day
Every
is
other
the
day.
way they would set it up.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Chinese would have to be freshmen, right, so they get their 4 years?
Correct. Well,
Chinese.
yeah, maybe 4 years, yeah.
Well, for college admission at least.
Yeah, 3 years, yes.
Yeah.
That, your intent is you wanna start something, you wanna make it become a full program, but it'd be just level 1 first
Chinese
year,
one.
yeah. But eventually it worked its way up to it. It's always hard, whether it's sign language or Chinese or even now Spanish. I mean, there's a reason why German and French aren't offered anymore. Because people don't exist to teach it. And it's getting to be extremely difficult and, we only offer 1 foreign language, you got a lot of kids who need to take it.
When my daughter went here and did French, they did a virtual class. Is that a
Yeah,
possibility? Not preferred.
not preferred,
Yeah.
but, there's ways you can do it that aren't high-quality education
Right,
ways,
right.
and then you gotta question that,
Right.
so. They're working, they're
So
gonna
Eastern
try to
Iowa
figure it out.
Community College instructor, it'd be too much, they'd want too much money.
Well, not
Or
necessarily
maybe
for
reach out
Eastern
to
Iowa
them.
Community College, if they could, if they have like computer science, they don't have anybody. They can't
Right.
find people, so because we reached out to them, maybe you have anybody who can teach computer science, because most of it, all but one of the courses, concurrent courses. They don't have anybody.
What about Spanish?
Spanish, I'm not sure if they reached out, I assume, I'm not
We
sure,
have to
yeah,
be sure.
it's just a shortage in both at their level and our level, for it, and so.
So Spanish speaker is just a BA
I
and,
think it's just a BA, I can confirm that tomorrow and figure out, but native speaker, there is a licensure for native speakers now. That's how one of our teachers could have been certified, but she also had teaching degrees and stuff too.
any certification required other than if they've got their BA in business or whatever and their native speaker, that's
No,
it?
no,
No,
that's it.
no additional
Yeah,
certification, okay.
Nothing else, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, they had to pass the praxis in the Spanish praxis.
Which.
I think that is a requirement, it's a test.
Would be-
Sure, but is it any,
But my guess is they don't even have to pass the first year.
Yeah,
Get a
I would
temporary
say
license,
provision, if I
so.
could move provisional anyway, and then let them.
Yeah, have them get a hold of, if you know of anybody, have them get a hold of Andrew, or Dan, either one of those two. I mean, they are actively trying to figure
So we need
That's
a
the hard
halftime
part.
though, not a full-time, right? Just a halftime?
Just halftime right now,
Okay.
that I'm aware of. We looked for full-time, and now we got more people want to go back to full-time, so, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, losing anybody now is, I don't care what it is, it would be a very,
Crisis, yeah.
very hard, position to replace. So, yeah. Good question, though, thank you for that.
Any other questions for Joe? All right, any board comments, correspondence? All right,
Next meeting is August.
August 19th, remember, one meeting in August too.
August 17th is the Boosters Gala night. If school board members, there's stuff on the internet right now. If you want more information, let me know. It's gonna be at the community center and it's tailgates and something, I don't remember. It's tailgate themed, so,
Delegating games?
yeah, something.
Yeah.
That's the
Bag.
fundraiser. It's their fundraiser,
It's a
yes.
big- yeah, it's a wonderful.
I have to donate my bag, so.
Yep.
Yeah, Jason sent something out on that.
All right.
Softball team, did we win?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We won semis again.
Nice.
Very nice, so.
And the golf outing for boosters is September 22nd. We're looking for teams for that. We're
They're
trying
done.
to fill a morning and an afternoon, right, Frank?
That's correct.
All right.
Should have gotten the Hall of Fame.
All right, I'll entertain one more motion.
So move.
Second.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.